is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Hello, everybody! Merry Christmas to you!
Merry
Yes,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're
Welcome.
recording this a week before Christmas, Bran, but if you're watching this, you got it early. You got it early. We selected you to preview this Christmas episode.
But how?
Don't worry about it. Don't ask those questions. Just know that if you're watching this on YouTube right
And
now and it's before the week before Christmas, you have somehow gone and gotten something from the future.
So if you're watching this in
If
October,
you're watching this before Halloween, you're special.
And we hate what happened in New Jersey, but it's over, and we're trying to move forward.
What happened in New Jersey?
You know, Bran,
I
it was
know.
you.
it was me.
Yeah.
That's a gross.
It was gross.
Summary.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
gross.
You are summarizing things and making it seem like I was the main culprit.
Oh, I feel like you were.
Agree to disagree. We're talking
Yeah.
about Gotta Kick It Up
Yeah, we
today,
are.
everybody.
Kick it
which
up.
is very exciting.
bathroom with this
And I'm excited about a lot of things, but I'm mainly excited to find out about the reviews we have, which I know, Dan, you have those reviews pulled
I got
up.
them pulled up. We're up to 130 something.
Whoa.
137, guys. We're never going to make 300,
felt like
and
we
that
went-
doesn't make me upset
Felt
at
like we were
all.
at like 138 last week.
Did
Yeah.
we lose one?
This is from
Someone went in and said no.
Ashley K123. The title is Hallmark Boys plus Erin have done it again. It says, I could listen to Bran and Dan talk about anything, and I have, but combining them with DCOMs, perfection. Heart, Bran, plus reason, Dan, plus bits equals guaranteed good time. Erin is the perfect mix of the boys and an excellent mediator. All in on this one. P.S. I was one of the people who saw Can of Worms when it first aired, and my dad loved it so much he bought the VHS and eventually the DVD, which he still has.
Wow.
Wow.
Please leave us a review. I'll read it on the air if I remember. And the ratings are great too. A lot of 5 stars in there.
Here's-
4.9 average, Brand.
Big
That's
fan
not
of
bad.
VHS tape.
Pretty good.
Here's a Spotify comment on the True Confessions episode, which got some good buzz, apparently. Someone brought the Take It to the Tape of True Confessions as well. TakeTheTape.com if you're interested in that. Or just sign up for Bramble Jam Plus at the All Access tier, and you'll get to watch us or listen
Watch
to
these
us,
movies.
watch the movies in real time. And you can, it's like you're in the room with us. But Taylor says, I've been waiting for this one. It was one of the most memorable DCOMs for me growing up, and I rewatched it recently simply because I was already crying. But I teared up driving today as Erin recapped the library scene, crying emoji, heartbreak emoji.
Wow.
So Taylor's all of us. Taylor is all of us.
Sorry, Taylor. Sorry for my thoughts on that movie.
I've moved past it, but now I'm back.
Guess
Yeah,
who's
now
back?
I'm thinking about
That scene.
my brother listened to that episode,
Oh.
and we had a really sweet moment where he was just like, "Thanks for the shout out." And he's like, "It's so cool seeing you."
Bran, what brother you shouting out today?
Thanks for asking. Shout out to Pat. Go Magic. The Magic season's upon us. I could have also shouted out Jesse in this moment, but I'm not going to. I'm going to
You
stay.
really have been hard on
I'm
Jesse.
going to stay mainly focused on Patrick in this moment because he's going to be with me watching the Magic on opening night, and Jesse's not. So
Shout out to my favorite brother, JJ.
Shout out to Jim, my favorite brother as well. It's
Fantastic.
pretty
We've
easy
got
over
it.
here.
Yeah, when you have one, it's
When you only have a couple that matter, it's easy for me as well. It's time for the delish. It's where we, Erin, you have brought something inspired by
yeah.
Gotta Kick It Up. Si se puede to you.
Si se puede.
what do
Middle
we?
school dance. This looks like alcohol.
What
I was inspired by middle school.
Is this brown milk? What do we have here today?
Yikes!
Well, thanks for that intro. Yeah, so I was really hoping that they would, like at the block party scene, that there would be a good bake sale or something that I could pull a delish from.
Sure.
Instead, they were just barbecuing, which is really hard to do in here on a morning.
We do it sometimes, but yeah.
Your lack of commitment to the
I know,
delish
I'm so
segments
sorry.
hurts.
Well, here's this for commitment. So
Here's
I
this.
went and watched. Christy Carlson Romano had a YouTube show.
Yes.
The star of Gotta Kick It Up, Camille, was on there talking about her
Amazing.
family's favorite Christmas treats.
Wow.
And
We've gone a
Christmas.
long way to get here, but we
And
got
remember,
here.
everybody, this is recorded the week before Christmas.
That's right. Merry Christmas, everybody. If you're getting it early,
what
you
year
got it
is it?
early. But if you're watching it before then, you got it early, and you need to know that.
So
You're
Camille
special.
her family loves to make empanadas and drink coquito. And so I brought some coquito.
Is this what you were going to make, but then you found out that Bauhauren's sells it
So
already made?
coquito is like an eggnog.
Vanessa Dial
but-
brought some down to Bramble
Yeah,
Fest.
and I'm just going to say, disclaimer, this is not as good as
can't be.
Vanessa's.
Yes.
So, Vanessa, I apologize to you and your entire family, but I am doing my best
So this
out
is
here.
basically an alcoholic eggnog. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's like
Let's
some
go.
cinnamon. There's like, it's got a different flavor base to it. You're
Okay.
not gonna
Cheers,
like it.
everybody. It's Wednesday morning somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
I don't
Could
hate
use
that.
a little bit more spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a good texture.
What's the proof on that?
I don't want to know.
I don't hate this. I don't hate. Does that mean I'm coming around on eggnog?
Yes,
This
it does
tastes-
actually.
Really?
Right?
I think this combines eggnog with all the things Bran likes about a chocolate, a teeny, a chocolate martini.
Yeah.
That's why he likes
So
it.
we're gonna get him on eggnog.
We're getting him.
You might get me on Naga.
You might get him on the nigga 9 o'clock.
He's already been on the nugget.
Man, what's the proof on this? Yeah, you might get me on Naga Clock this year.
All right.
Man, we're not going to wait around for you. If you can't do it when
No,
we
I
do
know.
it Tuesdays at noon,
Every Tuesday.
You're not
night.
every Tuesday at noon.
We're never
We're
late
not
or
scheduling
early.
around you, Bran.
Got to be honest, you will probably rarely get me at noon on a Tuesday, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see
that
what
was
happens.
D for Delish. That's DCOM.
Yeah. So
What-
shout out
so after
Camille
DCOM.
and Christy Carlson Romano
That's
for
right.
bringing that YouTube video into my life and reminding me what a great treat coquito is.
Yeah.
The music's playing. We'll be right back. I pressed it too early. Decom Descendants.
DCOM Descendants.
He doesn't want to let us just live.
Yeah. So he doesn't even like us.
Welcome back, everybody.
Trying to silence us.
It's just I gotta make a decision sometimes, and I make the wrong
It's
one.
the week before Christmas, Bran.
I know. I'm ready to
Have
get
a
out of here.
little-
I want to go celebrate.
Have a little cheer. Have a little spirit.
I want to get this in and get it out so we can go Christmas break. This is our last thing before Christmas break, Dan.
Interesting. That's wow.
I know.
What a take.
It's our
In
last
that
thing.
case, let's really pick it up here.
That's
We're
what I'm
gonna kick it up
saying.
a notch.
I
gonna be
thought you
crazy when
knew
we do an
that. I
episode
thought you
next
would be
week.
more on board.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I wasn't aware.
Got to kick it up, everybody, is what we're talking about today. July 26, 2002 is when this movie premiered on the Disney Channel, viewed by myself, viewed by Erin. I know what we were doing on July 26, 2002. We were kicking it up.
Bramblefest.
We were kicking it up. And it was directed by Ramon Menendez.
Menendez is not correct. Menendez.
Menendez.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's one of the-
It's like-
Menendez?
No,
He's one of the Menendez brothers.
No.
He
No, he's not.
has directed other. We don't know. I mean, I don't think
He
we'll
might
probably
have
say-
brothers,
we
but
do
he's
know
not
that he's not one of those
those.
Menendez
That,
brothers.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying he's a Menendez brother, which is true if he has a sibling.
you don't even.
Let's see. Does he have any siblings?
We don't have time for this. I'll look it up. You keep going.
Sir, we have places to
Yes,
be.
you're right. Sorry, Christmas. This is the last movie he directed. He directed this and then he hung it up. He was done. He also directed Tales from the Crypt, an episode of that. He also, of course,
Perversions of Science. He directed that in 1994 and 1997, respectively.
right before this, he directed Tortilla Soup. Oh, so
He
was a
won 2
screenwriter.
Independent Spirit Awards
How about
for his
that?
work on Stand and Deliver.
There you go.
How many awards did he win for Gotta Kick It Up?
None.
It's a good question.
But
It's a
also,
good
I don't have
question.
any personal life info about Ramon, so we do not know if he is a Menendez brother or not.
Starring Camille Guati, who I guess was the one that was
Yeah.
with
Yes.
Christy Carlson, America Ferrara, Susan Egan, and some others. Are we ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
We are at Marshall Middle School.
Sure.
Middle school. Yeah.
They're in 9th grade, but yeah, sure. Middle
It's
Marshall
school.
Middle
middle
School.
school. And
You didn't
it becomes very clear
Sipping
early on in this
alcoholic
movie.
nog.
Yeah.
It becomes very clear early on in this movie that this is
Susan Egan, she's been around.
about dance. This is a dance movie. They are dancing. They are, I think you could say they are popping.
yeah,
They are locking.
yeah.
And they are dancing. We then meet new biology teacher, Miss Bartlett. she is serious. You can tell by her clothes. She is a professional.
By her demeanor, by the principal's demeanor, the colonel. Yes, of course.
They're very serious, and this is a big day. Now, she's young, though. This is her first teaching gig, and the principal is convinced she's going to fail, which is always good.
Fair.
When, before your first day of school, you want to hear from the principal, you're not going to make it.
Gonna make it.
Hey. So
Gonna make it.
she goes in to the class, and immediately a dance party breaks out. And she doesn't know what to do. How do I do this?
Well, first she says, "I miss Bartlett," and they boo. They go, "Boo!"
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is really weird. Like a similar thing happens.
They just immediately boo her and make fun of her.
On our show, we have a crowd. We have them behind a glass,
That's right.
so you
When
can't
we
hear
come
them.
out,
But they
that's
boo.
true.
And it's weird because I don't know, like, why
they're
are you here?
Yeah,
Why are you here right before Christmas Eve, actually?
Christmas. Wow.
I know. You
I
didn't know
said
that?
it was a week before. You said Christmas Eve. Do we have different calendars? Are you on the Orthodox?
Yes.
The Julian? What are you? Are you a Julian boy?
Yeah. Isn't Orthodox? Don't they celebrate in January?
January. Yeah.
So do with that what you will.
You're a Julian boy.
It is Orthodox Christmas Eve for me.
For you.
So
Rest in peace.
obviously. So dance party begins to break out. The principal walks in and is like, "See, I knew it." And then he's like, "Shut it down. You're getting detention. You're getting detention. Everybody's getting detention." So one of the students finds out that Miss Bartlett went to Juilliard for dance because she was snooping around her
That
records.
fly-by-night art institution
Yeah, no, she
in New
wasn't
York.
snooping. The folder just happened to open on its own while she was holding it.
Yeah, she definitely didn't open it and look at it. And so she's like, "Oh my gosh, we should get the dance team back together because they didn't have one this year for some reason. And we should try to convince her to coach us." And all of the other girls at the time are like, "No, whatever, Miss Bartlett, look at her." But they do ask her, and she reluctantly agrees to at least come and see what they have. So they do tryouts. They first try tryouts in the gym. Then the basketball team comes in, so they have to move tryouts to the shop. Did you have a shop at yours? No, you didn't, Dan.
No,
Did you
I
have a
didn't,
shop at your school?
I don't think we had like auto shop.
Yeah, we had
had
auto shop.
other like shop type classes, but not
It's
cars.
the one class I regret not taking.
I wish we'd had
I wish
one.
I would have done that.
I think down south you just learn that stuff. You know what I mean? You
Well, I
just-
think I'm sure there's public schools. Dan,
that had shop
Yeah.
for sure. But I think that is one thing I'm grateful for is I did learn that. But I can imagine if I didn't have that, then I would have wanted to take.
You're
shop.
not grateful for much. You are grateful for
That's
that.
right, of
though. That's
course.
one-
Yes.
If there's one thing,
I don't have a grateful heart. I've said that for years. And don't make me grateful.
no, not this time of
No.
year at least. So they do they start doing their tryouts. They're in the auto shop, and they all make the team, but it's clear that they all have different styles
That's
of dance.
right.
They all try out to different music and all that good
Different
stuff.
compact discs.
So when they all get together,
we learned that when we all tried out for the.
We did.
100%,
For the
and
dance
it
team,
was a
and-
mess.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
mess. You have to have one, central
And
identity.
that's why we're podcasting instead of dancing.
That's right.
So
That's the
lessons
only
were
reason.
learned.
It's not because of the passion. We have passion
No,
for
so
both.
much
our
passion.
passion is for dance.
Probably
We've said that
more
for
passion
years.
for dance than podcasting
For
at this
sure.
point. But
2 to
that's
1.
It was just we didn't quite work together as a
wow,
team.
2-1.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. But I would say early on they don't really work as a team because they're out there on the track and they just kind of are trying to do stuff, but none of it's really flowing together. And so that doesn't stop them though from going to their first competition.
No.
They are competition ready. They have to wear their PE uniforms because
One
they
band,
don't
one
have the
sound.
money.
Yeah.
For
somehow dance team happened at the school the previous year, and it was just over the summer the coach retired, and so they were like, we don't have a coach anymore. But somehow in the we'll be
Months.
generous and say 3 months
Yeah.
in between school years, all of the dance team uniforms and pom-poms, which were stored in separate locations, went missing.
You would never store the pom-poms in the uniforms if you knew anything, Aaron. You have to store those in different locations. You
have to.
They have different temperature requirements.
Bran talks about this all the time.
Are you the one that keeps moving it back to the same location?
Pom-poms uniforms cannot be together.
I walk into storage.
Are you trying to ruin everything?
I walk into storage and I see them together and I say, who keeps doing this? And I move it into a different storage unit. It's you.
Yeah,
it's been used this whole time.
I keep taking the pom-poms out of our pom-pom storage unit and putting them into our uniform storage unit.
It's the only reason we have a second unit is for the pom-poms.
Brian wrote PPs only on there.
I'm just here for some chaos. Yeah.
So disorganized.
It said PPs only.
But most introverts are, you know what I mean?
You ignored it.
Introverted. Yeah. Well, you know, like, then that's how they lost them, is someone kept moving them out of the pom-pom storage unit.
The PP unit.
The PPU.
The PPU.
Anyway, they've lost them. In 3 months, they've lost everything.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think this is a perfect example as to why the PP unit is essential.
It says PPs only on there. It says PPs only on the door. He wrote it in big letters. I don't know how you messed this up.
We're gonna lose the deposit on it because I wrote
specifically
PPs.
said PPs only.
I wrote it on there, but it was a risk I was willing to take because I thought we were all on the same page about storing the PPs in the PPs only storage unit. But apparently we're not.
For pom-pom. There's nothing he can do about it.
They get to the first.
Sorry, guys, that's on me. My
It
bad.
is. Thank you. It's definitely not your PP. So they get to the first competition, and it is a disaster. They
What
are
is
all
in this cookie dough?
a lot.
It's good.
What's the proof on this? I think the proof's in the pudding. So they get to the first competition. It is a mess, and
well, they start counting on 2, Bran, and you know
2, 3,
3,
4,
4, 5. You can't do that. If you do that, everything falls apart. Our universe doesn't exist if you go from 2 to 5 in a count.
No, it doesn't. And it shows.
I mean, I think you go like 2, 3, 4.
You can do that. You can go 5, 6, 7, 8. You can't go 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything's
2, 3,
ruined.
4, 5.
Nothing works anymore.
1, 2, 3.
People don't know how to drive on the highways. Everything is ruined.
All your counts are off for the rest of
Yes,
the
it's like what they thought was going to happen at Y2K really happens if you go 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So afterwards, Daisy goes back to the school. She forgot something, and so she goes into the locker room. She
with her
grabs-
middle school boyfriend.
With her middle school.
It's above board.
16. He's 16.
He's 16. He's at least 16.
Going on 17. Yes.
Yeah, going on 30.
Yes.
And, but
he drives.
In his defense, they're all going on 30. They are all older. But so Daisy then hears some music, the music from, I can only describe it as the Napoleon Dynamite music from his dance number. And she goes in, she sees Miss Bartlett dancing. And she's amazing, so they want us to believe. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that Miss Bartlett was actually this good. This is crazy. Daisy confronts her and is like, yo, I saw you dance. Why are you holding out on us? Why aren't you like, show us these moves?
At the end of her dancing, though, she cries.
She does cry.
She cries.
That's right.
Important.
And she's like, listen, I haven't danced in a long time. This is the first time I danced. And so, I had to get all that out. So next practice comes and they just start crushing. They start learning all the moves. They're doing all the stuff. They're feeling themselves.
It's a real montage early in the movie.
It's an early movie montage. They start feeling themselves and they're like, we are ready for the next competition. Miss Bartlett is like, over my dead body, you're ready for the next competition. We've got to get better. After that first performance, we have to make sure that we are perfect before we go to this next competition. And the girls, the team are like, no. Excuse me, si se puede? Si se puede?
Yes, si se puede. You got it.
We're not going to stand by. We are going to go forward. We are going to compete. So they show up to the competition after making their uniforms a little bit more bedazzled.
Yeah, bedazzled's
they
a good
put
word
Christmas
for it.
garland on it. Merry Christmas, by the way, early or late.
Yeah,
And
depending on when you very early could be.
They begin to they go into the competition. They're like, "Where's your teacher?" They're like, "She's in the PP room."
It is the most like ridiculous and suspicious behavior by a bunch of middle school
kids
girls
you've ever met.
who they're getting asked like, hey, just wear, and it's not even like a grilling. It's just like, oh, we just need your coach to sign in. They're like,
This movie is virtually hijinks free, but it does have a bunch of middle schoolers.
You could have maybe convinced me that they murdered their coach.
Yeah.
For their like they were like,
Yes.
what? A coach? Who's a coach?
It
We've
has
never
a
heard of
middle
a
school
coach.
a middle school dance team somehow transporting themselves and registering and signing up for a dance competition in it, but not from a hijink standpoint, just from a they're doing it.
And I
which
know
is
this
wild.
is a different experience from you two. You two were not ever middle school girls. I just can't imagine. Sorry to.
No,
Don't
how
make
dare you.
assumptions. First
Why
of all,
you
this is
gotta
our
label me?
story.
Why you
This
gotta
is our
label me?
place.
It's so weird.
You're right,
But-
but again, I don't appreciate the assumption.
Don't know where the peepees go, but
Dan
you
has
do
talked
know.
about his middle school experience, and I know
Yes.
he wasn't a middle school girl.
That's true.
I think if one of us,
You shave that beard. I mean, it is like
good as new.
Anyway, I just can't. Like, I think if I was on stage in front of a crowd,
So this is what proof?
so much proof.
so much for so much. The burden of proof has been met. It's a
And
preponderance of
if
evidence.
I had like embarrassed myself that badly, I don't know if one
Yeah.
week is all it would take me
No.
to be like,
Yes,
you know
Ben.
what? I'm over that embarrassment. Let's hit it
with
again.
no coach. Yes.
Well, I think the key is you gotta kick it up. And
You got to
so,
kick it
Yeah,
up, and they
I-
do kick it up, and they're good.
They're good.
Without a coach. They're
Yeah.
good. They're way
They get
better. They finished third place.
Third
Well,
place.
they had made a better routine with
Yeah,
the coach's
That's
help.
right.
But yeah, I think if the
Track
coach had been
two.
like, I think we should just take one more week and practice, and after that embarrassment, I would have been like, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But
Don't make me
This
compete.
leads to my favorite scene of the movie. I don't want to miss it, where
Okay.
Daisy goes to the coach's house.
That's
And
right.
the coach has the opportunity to get mad at them.
right, because all the parents are mad when
Yes,
they find out that
correct.
this
Well,
happened.
it's just
and-
Alyssa's parents so far.
Okay,
Apparently,
Alyssa's
none
parents
of the
are
other. Well,
I think there's another side of
Esmeralda's
that.
parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't, Daisy's mom isn't.
Yolanda's parents are not happy.
Okay, so people
Yes.
are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they didn't really notice until after their kids had disappeared for 8 hours.
Yeah. So there's
into
that.
cars with
It was a
random
different
16-year-old
time.
boys.
It's a different
So-
time.
Different time.
But Daisy gets over to the coach's house,
Yep.
and the coach has a chance to put this all on the kid and say that, I can't believe you did this. You went behind my back. And instead, the coach says, I have had things in my life and fears in my life that have caused me to be the person I am today. And I'm taking that out on you. And that's my problem, not your problem, which is quite a conversation for a 2002 DCOM.
It was
Yeah,
heavy.
It was a good
It was heavy
conversation.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so
Oh, and the coach also admitted to like basically failing at her
Correct.
dance career.
she'd only been to Juilliard
They're
for
all
2
like,
weeks,
yeah,
I
you went
think.
to Juilliard on a dance scholarship, and she's like, yeah, I was only there for 2 weeks, and then I left because I got scared. And I said it during the Take It to the Tape, but I think that's a really important conversation, and it would have
Can
been
you
really
imagine?
instrumental
Yeah.
in my life to have an adult. I mean, you see it in a movie, and you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But to have an adult that I physically knew, like in my own life, say it's okay to fail, and
Yeah.
it's okay to have fears, but you can't let those fears
I mean,
affect
as
how you
I think
treat other
for
people.
for Dan and I, like we've never,
Neither
never
of us have
failed.
ever failed. And
Aside
that
from
is
the one dance competition,
and
which
in
you
Newark,
took the blame
you
for.
in Newark 2 weeks ago, which I don't want to keep bringing it up, but it is. You could call that. It was disgusting, but it was also a failure, right?
I would say actually it was a big success.
Okay,
personally,
okay,
but
okay.
again, we have different
Yes. And the
recollections
dance
of that.
competition we were in was on me. I did fail, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I have not failed
But
since.
hey, there is a difference
at
between
least you didn't
dancing
move
the
the
best
pee-pees.
and
That's
dancing
true.
your
No,
best.
never.
And I think you did dance your best, and
That's
we're
right.
all proud of you.
So now that they're all on the same page, Ms. Bartlett is like, you know what? We're gonna do our best. We're gonna try, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
we don't
do
have
that.
to be the best. We just have to be
we
our
are
best.
we're gonna see say puede.
Yes.
So they start dancing, they're learning the routines, they're doing all the stuff, but they start winning competitions and whatnot, and they're gonna make it to regionals. But in order to get to regionals, they're gonna have to pay $1,200.
Oh, 1,200 bones?
1200.
Whoa.
for the competition that starts in 2 weeks.
Right. And while that's happening,
And they
once-
haven't registered or paid yet. So good.
yeah, but whatever. When they're dealing with that,
We also haven't bought uniforms, so don't worry. There's a tight turnaround on a dozen uniforms.
yeah, well, in their defense, we do find out they get the generic ones. So
Yeah.
I think those are
In
ready
my
to
head,
go.
I thought like it is one of the bigger disappointments
Yeah.
in a decom
Oh,
is
those
when they're
are
like, we're
just
getting
standard
'cause, like,
boys, huh?
At least the other ones had like gold and they
Yeah.
were a little flashy, and then they walk into with the new uniforms, and I remember just being like,
Those are standard. Standard fits there.
yeah. Anyway, keep going. You're doing a great
While
job.
They are grappling with the fact that they
are gonna have to find $1,200. Miss Bartlett gets a job offer at a big .com,
Yeah.
which is she had a
Yeah.
.com.
She had a
and it
.com.
crashed.
Yeah. You know how those early tech
yes.
companies.
So she gets this offer. It's like a teen gossip
Apple, you know.
.com.
Not making it.
Yeah. And so they offer her a job and with more money. And she goes in and she's like, dance crew, I got a job offer. And they offered me more money. And everyone starts getting mad. They're like, oh, goodbye. Good riddance. We don't need you.
Of course, at the first offer, you would leave us. You're nothing.
Yeah. And then she's like, can I finish? I didn't take the job.
Didn't.
And they're like, we always believed in you, Miss Bartlett.
The way that you're responding is making me wish that I did. First of all, rude. But I didn't take the job. We got to kick it up. They decide they're going to throw a block party to raise money. They are $100 short. And that's when Chewy, who we haven't talked about, but Chewy
shut up.
is...
Chewy
We
is
did talk
Daisy's
about
boyfriend.
Chewy, but we didn't say his name.
Ninth grade, 14-year-old
Going on
Daisy
40, yes.
is dating
Chewy.
16 going on 30. Chewy,
That's right.
Yeah.
who is driving, brings all of his buddies. They're going to get car washes. They get...
Is it 8 cars in a van?
nine cars in a van,
9
I
cars in a
believe.
van for $85.
Yeah, but then he tips to 15, so
Man,
good to
tips
go.
to 15.
100. They are...
He just had that 15 ready to go.
He had all of it ready.
He
to
had 85 in one stack and 15
It
in
is as
another.
if he was listening in on the
Man, that's
conversation.
unbelievable.
He knew.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't the correct amount of money? He's
He's just like, I got you. No?
Yeah.
that's $22, Chewy.
Chewy, be better.
Also, another part that we didn't talk about while watching this movie is Yolanda is failing math. And if you get below a D, you can't be on the dance team.
That's right.
And so Miss Bartlett works out with the principal, who is also the coach of everything but the dance team.
He couldn't. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know dance.
He's probably teaching math too. Works it out that as long as Yolanda counts the money correctly at this event, she can stay on the dance
Ninth
team.
grade, everybody. They did it. This is the problem right here.
And I remember being so impressed with that when they were talking about it, and then like as a kid, and then watching this scene and being like, she's not doing any accounting. She's literally just
It's a
counting.
late elementary school skill.
1,
Yeah.
2,
She did it, guys.
3. I bet she can even count 10s and 20s.
So
So,
yeah, I remember being
God
like,
forbid there's a $50 bill
I
thrown
remember
in
being
there.
like, this is a really great project, and then being like, oh, there's not actually any like budgeting or accounting here.
No, she
She's
just
just,
has to-
counting cash.
Can you count to 1,200?
So
Can you do it?
I mean, what a great school. You can get out of detention by dancing. You can get out of a failing grade by counting to 1,200.
So it is.
It's more than fair.
It's
When I
time-
taught, that was my big thing.
It's time for regionals.
Before you say another word,
Yeah.
can you count to 1,200?
Do it.
Here-
Start.
You know what? Diploma now.
Yes. You have 3 minutes.
Whoa.
Go. I know, right?
That is tricky.
Yeah.
And then you can change the how they're counting. So you can be like 10s, 50s.
You can change the way
At
that they
any
count.
point in time. You can yell at them.
Yeah.
Bran, you're so good at words.
The denomination.
You want to try it?
How about that?
Go ahead.
Okay. 1, 2,
Tens.
12, 22,
Oh.
50.
33.
33? You mean 32?
Dang it.
Dear God in heaven.
So harder than it seems. A lot of people said that it
What
wasn't good.
proof is this?
A lot of people said that it wasn't a good way for her to pass the class. I beg to differ.
12, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66.
Everyone knows the $11 bill. Shove off. This is a really good episode of Decon. I just want to say this is really good stuff. You got the
Yeah,
pee-pee room,
maybe watch this on YouTube. It's probably more fun.
Yeah, you're getting it early.
which is crazy. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. You time traveled.
You time traveled. Just don't time travel to the day in New Jersey.
No. We would never.
Don't watch it on that. That was, again, I'm proud of it personally. So they get to regionals
Said peepees
and
only. There's nothing we
a
can
couple
do.
of things happen. One, they lose the pom-poms. They lose the peepees.
Yeah.
That is not as big of a deal as it seems. They actually end up finding them.
No problem.
Really, someone put them
NBD.
underneath
Daisy,
a table.
though, is nervous because
Yeah,
there's a scout
that's right.
there.
Daisy's nervous.
That's right.
And Daisy goes and she talks to Miss Bartlett, and Miss Bartlett gives this whole speech about, like, I always thought that I had to be perfect.
'Cause we lost it all.
And that's how my parents were always like,
You're not good enough.
you're not good enough.
Sorry,
You could always be
can't
perfect.
be
Perfect. And but you don't have to be perfect. You just got to do your best. And if at the end of the day,
It's too late.
We didn't do great at a dance team, but should we do like a cappella?
I think so.
Go back. I'm
Sorry, I can't be perfect. So
We'll think about it.
she's now.
Yeah,
She's
YouTube's gonna
now.
pull this clip. There's
Yeah.
no way around it.
That's a copyright. Sorry. Hopefully they don't give us a strike. So she goes on stage. They go on stage. The music hits. Track 3 this time.
Yeah.
And it is the same as track 2. From
a
what we heard,
little
but a
different.
little bit different. And at first, the first like
She's
15
frozen.
seconds, she's frozen. She can't move. She's
But you know
Elsa
what
out
she's
there.
got to do?
What's that?
Kick
It up.
That's exactly right.
And she does kick
Si
it
se
up.
puede, tío.
Si se puede.
They dance. We get, and it is inspirational.
It is sure.
It is a lot of close-ups.
It is a lot of fast
It is
camera
edited.
angles.
It is edited like
Beautifully.
hell. I mean, it is edited so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the best way possible.
But
Yeah,
we,
no, it looks like a real impressive dance until you start watching like one specific dancer and realizing that they're just shaking their pom poms.
yeah. But they do. They get done. They get together. They're super. Yeah, we did it. Congratulations.
Si se puede.
And they take a picture, and then they do free. I thought the picture was going to be the freest frame. It wasn't actually, which was
They go to a
the
different
they go to a
gym.
different freeze frame that's
gym
worse,
and they toss
and they
it up.
throw the toss to pom poms,
toss it.
and then it says toss it, and then it says that they got second, I believe.
Yeah, thought it was second.
Second at regionals, and then they win to nationals.
and we
Don't
don't know
ask
anything
about
else.
it.
And that's
Don't
the
ask
true
about it.
story of the Marshall Middle School dance team.
We are
100%.
Marshall.
Bum, bum, bum,
No,
bum, bum.
we're gonna take a quick break. You were wrong that time. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna
was
come
right.
back. We're gonna get to some overtime. We're gonna make our list. Sam's already checking it. We'll be right back, everybody. Merry Christmas. Welcome back, everybody.
I am reading that this is based on a true story.
There you go.
Holy moly.
And I just want to know why.
That makes this movie worse to me
Oh, interesting.
in so many ways.
Like, what about this? They were like, this seems like of all the inspirational stories out there, this
I
is-
just realized I just realized Double Teamed. I'm comparing this movie a lot to Double
Me
Teamed,
too.
and I've got to redo my list because they're in the wrong order. Go ahead, Bran.
Let's
let
get
me
to
stop you.
let's get to overtime. It's where we talk about how this movie aged over time, whether you saw it back then and you watched it again now, or you watched it for the first time in 2024. How's it age? How is it? What are our thoughts on it? First, let me give you some Letterboxd reviews.
Oh, I've been waiting.
Macy said,
Macy.
my girl Macy said 5 stars.
Oh, who's making assumptions now?
Fair enough. Sorry. I wish that I was alive in the 1980s so I could jazzercise and get into Juilliard. Thank you.
Nice.
That is a good description for what Miss
She
Bartlett
does
is doing.
jazz. Yeah, it's jazzercise.
Jazzercise your way to Juilliard.
Cece Lou says 3 stars. This was my favorite as a child. However, you're telling me a guy old enough to drive is dating a middle schooler? Disney, what you doing?
That's what you're doing indeed.
Fair. Cass says we don't have stars for Cass. I don't know what she rated it. But Cass says Freedom Riders, but make it dancing lesbians.
Yes.
David Robb says 3 stars. Kathy Griffin was a really good coach. Owen says 3 stars. Got to get me one of them internet jobs. And Haley Cook says 3 stars. DComs are so good at trying to make mediocre dancing look like the coolest, best thing
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are our thoughts on it? I'll start with you, Erin. You saw it back in the day.
Yeah.
You've seen it now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen it many times since back in the day in 2002.
Many times.
It is one of those movies that, like, when I think of a DCOM, if you ask me to list, like, off the top of my head, 10 DCOMs, it would probably be one of the first ones I
Okay.
list. Like, it's for some reason just one of those iconic Disney movies to me. And in watching it today, I don't know why. A lot of it, like that last Letterboxd review where it's like it makes mediocre dancing seem extraordinary. That is how I remember feeling like watching it. Like, I remember the big reveal that Miss Bartlett is a dancer.
Exhilarating.
And I remember, like, I'm like, I can do all those moves, and I am not a dancer. I've never taken a dance class. Like, she's just kind of like throwing her hands up in the gym, and everyone's like, oh my God, she can dance. And the big reveal to the dance team that she can dance. She's like, all right, guys, we're gonna do like a shuffle to the left and a shuffle to the right, and then she does a spin, and they're all like, oh my God, she can dance. And I'm like, you got into Juilliard. Yes, you quit 2 weeks later, but
You got
give
in.
us something.
Yeah.
And those uniforms, I don't know. It's still a good movie. I would still watch it. I would rather watch it than like half of the decoms we've seen so far. But yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was. I also thought like America Ferrera had a much bigger part.
Yeah, she doesn't have much going on in this movie.
Like, I know she was Daisy's best friend, and so in my head I thought she was like the number 2 on the dance team, but she's really like the 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th. I don't know. It's a good movie. I had a good time. Would still watch again. It just, yeah, if you take away all the flashy editing, there's not a whole lot here. And I hate that I said that.
I'm with you, Aaron. This is the first one that I remember really liking as a kid.
Okay.
That doesn't quite hit as an adult.
Yeah.
This one, you see just how bad the script is. There are a lot of scenes that are just really tough. The dancing, not good. I just remember it being so like, this is we can do anything.
Like so iconic, like
si
si
se
se
puede.
puede. Like,
Si se puede.
yeah.
Not lying, became a part of my like si se puede. Like I was inspired by this movie.
We gotta kick it up.
And I was a white boy, a little boy. So
So you're saying you were a middle school boy?
I was a
Yes.
middle school
Okay.
boy. Yes,
All right,
confirmed.
can confirm.
And so this movie back then hit
Hit
now doesn't quite
Yeah.
hit as well, and that's unfortunate. It hurts my feelings. I have a feeling that I might mess with the ranking where this one is going to end up a little bit more. So my gut reaction, my guess is I'm going to have it lower to start with, and it might work its way up. But we'll see what.
I
happens.
think I'm the reverse.
You think they're the reverse? Okay.
I think it has a spot on the list because of how I felt about it when I was 12.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Definitely an A, not great situation.
Dan?
Right? Definitely, like, this movie's not good. I can see how it would be good if you were 10. I don't see how it could possibly be good now. Script's trash. Acting by and large is not great.
Maybe one of the worst
It is-
scripts.
It is a terrible script.
There's like
And
nothing
then
there.
Yeah.
It is. I said this in Take of the Tape over and over again, but it's a classic Thank God for White People movie. This is an actual trope called the white savior trope. Look it up on Wikipedia. I listed a bunch of movies during the Take of the Tape that fall into this category. Some of them good movies, but it is a classic, like, this person teaching this dance team, like, even if it's a true story, it could have been someone that was a part of that culture beforehand and is the only white person in the movie who's there to make sure they all can actually accomplish the thing they're supposed to be able to accomplish on
She's
their
the
own.
only white person in the
In
movie.
the whole movie. Yes. Which makes it like 1,000 times worse for a number of reasons. So that's like, you see that and you know what's happening. And don't get me wrong, like Glory Road, basketball movie, there's like one white guy in that movie, and I remember loving that movie as a kid. But
I do also love Freedom Writers, and that's
yeah,
on me.
Freedom Writers is a terrible movie. Like, it's
Also based on a true story.
also based on a true story, but the way that they make it's like the Green Book. The Green Book, if won Best Picture, it is just an offensive movie for people of color.
Oh, I never saw it because the trailer seemed offensive to me.
It was best. It won the Best
Yeah,
Picture
I know.
because white people felt guilty.
Oscar's
And
so
it's-
white.
Yeah, it's so crazy. That's the ultimate current white savior movie. There's plenty of them out there. Add this one to the list. I'm fine never watching this again. I had it ahead of Double Teamed and realized I did, and I'm like, Double Teamed is empirically, to me, it's a better movie than this movie. So I went back and re-ranked this movie to make sure that Double Teamed was ahead of it, because Double Teamed is better on a number of fronts than this movie, and better acting. The dad in Double Teamed does a great job. Both of the leads do a great job, and a much better girl power, like women can do anything, guys can do story, to me, for me anyway. So yeah, not a fan of this one.
Yeah, when we were ranking them, you made a comment about how you were comparing it to Double Teamed, and that's kind of how I ranked it too. It's a very similar type movie, but I did have Double Teamed ahead of this.
Yeah, I do too.
But I did it from the get
from the get-go. So for me,
that was kind of like my war room thoughts and prayers, where I was like,
Yeah.
I remember as a
Double
kid,
Teamed's a better movie.
As a kid, I would have said "Gotta Kick It Up" was a better movie because it's more fun.
Of
Whereas I
course.
think Double Teamed has some more like emotional scenes.
Yeah.
But especially now, I'm like,
Still has that weird scene where
Yeah.
that dude's out there at 2 in the morning lifting girls to play some different spots. But it's a better movie than this movie.
I mean, I think if I was ever in a situation where I don't know why I'd be in this situation, but if like the Disney Channel was on and Gotta Kick It Up came on, I don't think I'd change the channel, but I don't know how much I'm gonna like actively seek out this movie.
This is
again.
Well, when that happens this weekend, you let us know how.
Well, I'll come babysit and show your kids Gotta Kick It Up.
We're gonna watch Disney Channel live. We're gonna turn on the live linear.
Hey kids, remember how you
commercials.
loved High School Musical?
Yeah.
Let me show you something worse.
Gotta kick it up.
And then they gotta kick me. And
Well, we keep talking about the list, so let's talk about our list and where we have this movie.
yeah.
And then we'll get to our top 10 as well, see if anything has shifted. I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions about
Oh,
this
my
movie
list has shifted.
not being in anybody's top 10, but if it isn't, let us know where it is, and then let us know what your current top 10
So the
is.
thing we've been doing every episode.
Yes,
with.
that
Okay.
thing. Yes.
I don't listen. I don't want to make
Making M
assumptions.
for decom.
gonna
People
keep
people
doing
listen
it.
all out of order all the time.
So this movie is not airing in my top 10. I do think it's a little high, so we'll think about it. But it is premiering at number 16 for me, right below Double Teamed at 15.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Last week, I told you all that I would spend some time in my war room, do some thoughts and prayers on my top 10 list.
Maybe have Luck of the Irish more in the 8, 9, 10 range instead of the 4, 5, 6 range. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you knew it. I think you.
Just you wait.
Okay. I'm ready.
10,
Look at the Irish number 1.
Xenon.
Okay.
9, Luck of the Irish.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Come on.
I got
8,
Luck of the Irish at 13.
8, Halloween Town. 7, Get a Clue. 6, Phantom of the Megaplex.
Let's go.
5, Smart House. 4, Miracle in Lane 2. 3, Johnny Tsunami. 2, Cadet Kelly. And 1, Motocrossed.
Aside from Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, we have the same 10 movies in there. Yeah. No, that's not true because I've got Brink in there too.
Why?
It's getting to.
I'm just
to be
kidding. It's a
political.
great movie.
Best movie of all time. I've got to kick it up, debuting at number 23.
Me too.
Hey!
23.
I have it behind Ultimate Christmas Present and in front of Halloween Town 2 is where I have this movie.
I've got
I also have it near Halloween Town 2.
Halloween Town 2. I have worse than this movie.
Yeah.
But it's close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Halloween Town worse. I have clearly I think Double Teamed is better because I have Double Team at number 10 still.
Oh my gosh.
Phantom of the Megaplex at 9, Mom's Got a Date at 8, Luck of the Irish 7, Smart House 6, Cadet Kelly 5, Get a Clue at number 4, Motocross 3, Johnny Tsunami number 2, and the greatest movie of all time, Brink number 1.
This is just ridiculous. I have got to kick it up at 23 as well. One spot ahead at 22, I have Double Teamed, and then a spot ahead of that is Ultimate Christmas Present. So real close to you there, Bran. And then on worse than Got to Kick It Up, Jumping Ship, Alley Cat Strike, Halloween Town 2. So that's kind of where we're featuring there. My top 10, Quince, Smart House out, Quince in, 10, 9, Brink, 8, Miracle in Lane 2, 7, Get a Clue, 6, Halloween Town, 5, Cadet Kelly, 4, Phantom of the Megaplex, 3, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, 2, Johnny Tsunami, and number 1, best decom by far, Motocrossed.
Yeah.
There we are.
I mean, it's a better movie, but against almost any other decom, I think I would choose to watch Motocrossed again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking that Get a Clue might jump ahead of Halloween Town.
I think
Mine
it should.
jumped
You want
ahead.
to do it right now?
And I didn't see it. I had to really think about like.
I think Cadet Kelly's a better movie than Get a Clue is. I think just fundamentally a better movie.
I do have a Cadet Kelly ahead of it, but that was one of my big things. Is Halloween Town has always been really high for me because it is so iconic.
Yeah.
And I said this to you earlier, but I had to have a talk with myself. Or just because a movie's not in my top 10 doesn't mean I don't
That's
love
right.
it. And
Because you're going to love movies not in your top 10. That's just how this
Right,
works.
like,
you
watching
love more
it-
than 10 decoms.
Yes, and so I'm like, I love Halloween Town. I do watch it most every Halloween. But compared to some of these other movies, there's just not a whole lot.
I just
in
did it. I made the switch. Get a Clue moved up to 6. Halloween Town down to 7.
Real
There
time.
it is.
In real time,
Real
too.
time. Wow.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful holiday. We are going to be back next week with A Ring of Endless Light.
Sounds terrible.
It's got a great cast, but it's a movie I've only seen once.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Super encouraged by that.
Until then,
Decom
all the
day.
way.
Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray. And yeah, that Greenville, South Carolina, the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios. Follow us on the socials at Decom Descendants. Follow us on the web, decompodcast.com. To watch us watch these movies live, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.